Powered by Riverside FM.
The Minnesota Vikings have had a really good offseason. But what perplexes me is when you look at some of the heavyweights in terms of covering sports, ESPN, NBC, why do they treat the Minnesota Vikings so differently? Man, I've just been really perplexed by it. I would even throw Fox in there. You've got Colin Cowherd talking about the Minnesota Vikings are going to be last in the division, and then actually talking like the Minnesota Vikings are going to be one of the worst teams in the league, which I just don't understand. I mean, I understand that we're going to be going with a rookie quarterback at QB1 and JJ McCarthy, man, but how low is JJ McCarthy's floor? I mean, do you think he's going to be that terrible where we're one of the worst teams in the league? Just think about this, UP Nation. Just think about this. Like, it seems to me all of these networks and all of these outlets, they've been wanting everybody but J.J. McCarthy to be the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings next year. I mean, almost ever since he entered the door, even during the draft, they were talking about, hey, you got to put this kid on the shelf. And there really hasn't been that narrative. There really haven't been that verbal dictation out there that J.J. McCarthy should even play. Like, I haven't heard it more recently with this Aaron Rodgers thing. And then Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold should start, and J.J. McCarthy should hold the clipboard and learn from Sam Darnold. And at the time, I was really perplexed because I was like, what the heck is J.J. McCarthy going to learn from Sam Darnold? Like, do you actually, before he came in here, that was the narrative. And so my question is, do you actually want J.J. McCarthy learning from Sam Darnold? And I'm not saying that there aren't some things that Sam Darnold could have taught J.J. McCarthy. But I'm also saying there's a lot of things that you probably don't want rubbing off on J.J. McCarthy from Sam Darnold. It's like whenever there's something good about the Vikings, the national media and the outlets have to step on it. And even when remember a couple of years ago when we were riding high, we had a lot of single-digit wins, and the Minnesota Vikings just kept winning and kept winning and kept winning and kept winning. And the national media outlets were talking about how the Minnesota Vikings were full gold. Even during those moments, they couldn't give the Minnesota Vikings their due. Now, where I get so angry with the Minnesota Vikings is that, of course, once they hit the playoffs, they came up short. And again this year, when they were rattling off games, everybody that was playoff contenders were better than the Minnesota Vikings. And again, the Minnesota Vikings come up a little bit short. But I just have to ask myself, when these outlets, guys like Mike Florio, and, you can't even hear about the Vikings on First Take unless Aaron Rodgers is thrown in there. So those shows aren't even covering the Minnesota Vikings. The most coverage that you saw about the Minnesota Vikings when it was who's the quarterback? Will it be J.J. McCarthy or will it be Aaron Rodgers? It just perplexes me, especially when you have a guy like Kwesi who's been cooking for the past 2 years in the offseason. You look at his offseason again today. Come on, UP Nation. You got to know that his offseason has been stellar so far. We'll see in a couple of weeks what he does in the draft. I don't believe that we are going to stick and pick. Everything that I have heard, it looks like the Minnesota Vikings may trade out of that pick. It kind of all depends on who's there, who falls to him. Where I think Kwesi has been genius is now we don't have to draft for need, so to speak. We can draft for best player available. You have guys like Mike Florio for NBC, those of you guys that watch his podcast, his channel. I mean, he's supposed to be the biggest Vikings fan in the world, and he dogs us pretty much every chance that he gets. And again, I just think and feel like we're just treated a little bit differently, especially when we're set up for so much success. It's almost like the national media is just almost disappointed that JJ McCarthy is the guy and he's our quarterback. See, I believe that a lot of the excitement and the enthusiasm is levied toward those big market teams. Any team in New York, any team in Los Angeles, any team in Florida. And those are the teams that they actually want to see succeed, not the mid-market teams. But I got news for you. ESPN and Fox and NBC, you better get ready for the Minnesota Vikings and JJ McCarthy. Man, it may take a while for JJ to get comfortable, but this thing is about to take off. I've made a million podcasts saying that. I feel no differently today. Don't think I'm going to feel any differently tomorrow. Don't think I'm going to feel any differently in the fall. This team is set up for so much success. And as a great wrestler used to say, my guy Ric Flair, whether you like us or don't like us, you better learn to love us because we're the best thing going today. The formula has always been you got to have a great coach in place, and we have that in Kevin O'Connell. You have to have a great GM in Kwesi. You got to have a Super Bowl caliber defense. Well, we've got the mad scientists looking over that in Brian Flores. And then you also, the last box that you have to check is that you have to have a future franchise quarterback, UP Nation. And that's what I believe JJ McCarthy is. And I believe like a lot of the national media understands that. They know that, and they're hating on that. But it doesn't matter how much they hate. It will come to fruition that the Minnesota Vikings, I'm giving it 3 years, are going to get the job done. And like Bonnie Raitt, we're going to give them something to talk about. The Minnesota Vikings are on the verge of something great. The national media out there is putting them on the back shelf. That's just what I felt through this offseason. They've just put them on the back shelf. The only time they've gotten some attention, really the only time that they have been talked about, even with this great offseason free agency class, is when the whole Aaron Rodgers and JJ McCarthy thing came up. The national media is sleeping on the Minnesota Vikings, but we won't sleep here on UP Nation because we know what our team is all about. I wish next fall was tomorrow. I can't wait to see this team take the field. I'm not saying that we're going to be equal to what we did last year in terms of wins and losses. Hell, we won 14 games. But I think the finished product is going to be pretty good. You just wait and see, UP Nation. I'm as excited as ever, but I just needed to call out some of these national outlets. Please hit that like and subscribe button. This has been Unconventional Playbook. Please consider becoming a member. Those that become a member will have an opportunity to win a Minnesota Vikings Winter Warrior jersey. And as always, UP Nation, we will see you when we see you. Skol.